Now, just like with indices, there was all the index laws you had to know. Same with logarithms, heap of laws you need to know. So let's go through them right now. So, law number 1. If you have got the log of, that's an n by the way, log of two numbers multiplied together, that's the same as taking the log of the first added to the log of the second. Since logs are indices, that shouldn't be too much of a worry to you, because you know when you multiply in powers of the same base, you add the indices. Well, since logs are the indices, it should be no surprise that you're adding the logs. So if you've got two numbers times together, you're taking the log of that, split the log across both numbers, and add together. For example, if you had the log 100 times 1000, according to our rule, we could take the log of 100 and add it to the log of 1000. How does that work? Well, if I do the left hand side, 100 times 1000 is 100,000, and because that's just going to be 100 plus log 1000. Sensational. Why does that work? Let's have a look. Now, by the way, I should have added up here in the rule if I chose any base that I want. So any base. So it could be base 10, it could be base 2, it could be base 5, it doesn't matter. Now, I'm going to make this logs base 10. This is going to make my life a little easier. So that's going to be logs base 10, logs base 10, and logs base 10. By the way, side issue, if you're ever doing logs base 10, in maths we call them common logs. You're allowed to leave it out. So the fact that I hadn't written the 10 in there, every mathematician everywhere in the world would know I was talking about logs base 10. For the time being, I'm just going to put it in until you get used to it. But if ever a log, the base is not mentioned, it must be 10. Common logs. Alright, so this means, the question says, what is the log of 100,000 if I use 10 as the base? So it means take this number here and write it as 10 to the power of something. Well, it's clearly 10 to the power of 5. And of course, a log is an index. The base of the log is 10, the base of the power is 10, therefore my answer must be 5. Don't believe me? Try that on your calculator. Just do the log of 100,000 on your calculator, it'll say 5 is the answer. So over here, log of this. So once again, this means say do the log of this, it means take 100 and rewrite it as 10 to the power of something. Well, it's 10 squared. This one, take 1000, rewrite it as 10 to the power of something. It's 10 to the power of 3. Well, the same logic as before. Base of the log is 10, base of the power is 10. 2 must be the answer. Don't believe me? Do log 100 on your calculator. Plus, base of the log is 10, base of the power is 10, a log is an index, 3 must be your answer. And that's true. So there's law number 1. Have two numbers multiplied together, taking the log of it, split the log across both numbers and add them. Given that case, you're probably not going to be very surprised when I put up law number 2. Law number 2. If I was taking two numbers and times them together, I split the log across both and add them. So if I've got two numbers divided together, I split the log across both of them and I subtract them. And once again, it works for any base that I want to choose. Rule number 2. Now in rule number 3, this is what we call the power law of logarithms, because I've got a logarithm here and I've been raising it to a power, so it's the power law of logarithms. So in this one, what you're allowed to do is this power up here, the power of n, is allowed to come out the front as a multiplier, and then everything else stays exactly the same. So the log base a of n to the power of n, take that index there, whack it at the front as a multiplier, and you have exactly the same thing. Mind you, the same law runs in reverse. If you ever have a number out the front as a multiplier, you are allowed to put it back up there as an index. So remember, these laws always run both ways. So there's law number 3 for you. Law number 4, log of any number using the base of the same number. For example, if I took like the log of 2 base 2, or the log of 5 base 5, the answer is always going to be the same. Well, what is the answer? Well, we've talked about it over here. If the base of the log and the base of the power are the same, the index is the answer. So, base of the log is A, base of the power is A. What's the index? Well, I haven't written it in, but the index is 1. So, log of 2 base 2 will be 1. Log of 7 base 7 will be 1. And our last law is law number 5. You take the log of 1, you're always going to get the same answer. It doesn't matter what base you choose. Try it on your calculator now and you'll get the answer. And the answer will be 0. Because if I change it from log notation to index notation, what will it become? Well, the base is A log is an index, so 0 is the index. The 1 must be the answer. Is any number to the power of 0 equal to 1? Yes, it is. We know that from our index laws. So there's rule number 5. Take the log of 1, you will always get 0 as your answer. So there's your index laws. We're going to make use of them when we get to class next lesson. So I'll see you there.